Hello, everyone. I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
We are here with a one of two movie reviews for the week. This one being the first of the two big films of the November opening week month thing.
November is one of the big months of the year.
It always is. Big Hero 6 is the review today. I find that vaguely offensive on some level.
You can't even...
Because you went karate immediately.
So that's what Baymax did.
Alright. Big Hero 6, for those that don't know, is the latest Disney film by the not Pixar team. So the people that brought us Frozen and Wreck-It Ralph, and I'm assuming Tangled, that group.
No, I didn't see it in their marketing, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe that's because it's too far removed now. I don't know. I think, yeah, I'm going to loop it. I might be wrong. Tell us if I'm wrong. The internet loves to tell people they're wrong.
You're wrong.
So you're not the internet yet.
Well, as soon as I get home, I'm typing that in.
So Big Hero 6, and it's actually the first of the non-Marvel Cinematic Universe movies to be culled from the partnership with Marvel. Loosely based on the, and from what I've read, since I've never read the Big Hero 6, it's very loosely based on the Big Hero 6 books.
Yes.
Made by the best name in comics, Man of Action.
I saw that and I kind of geeked out for a little bit.
Oh, that's so
I
cool.
love Man of Action. They make the dumbest, greatest stuff.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing from them?
They did a Spider-Man show.
Spot. All right. Anyway, doesn't matter. Big Hero 6. The best way to describe it is like another Disney take on The Incredibles meets like a futuristic high-tech world where it's not superpowers, it's technology.
This is a really well-developed sci-fi universe.
Very. All the way up to the crazy hybrid of the like parallel universe San Francisco meets Tokyo. San
Francisco.
Yeah, I love that. You got like the rail, the streetcars, the hills and everything. You've got the Golden Gate Bridge, but then you have Tokyo influence everywhere. The neon lights, the skyscrapers, the monorail system.
I kind of didn't love that.
Really? Oh, I love the mishmash.
Because I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, and this is my big nerd brain going, and I'm like, how does that work? What happened? Did Japan conquer us? Did we conquer Japan?
Yeah, no. At first you think like, where do you get this from?
Again, it's a movie for children. You have to just like, hey, we're in San Francisco.
Okay,
all right.
Cool. Yeah, move on. But yeah, so what I really liked about this, there was two things I really liked about it.
All right, what's up?
The team and the characters I really dug, like the actual Big Hero 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I really enjoyed on another type of level of enjoyment is how the movie dealt with death, loss, and mourning and everything.
It was
a dark movie at times.
It's really their best handling of loss and death in a Disney movie in a long time. It's not your parents died on a boat.
Yeah, like it's not like that kind of loss where the characters die off screen or before the movie started. We're introduced to the character that dies,
Tadashi,
and we learn to like him, and he's in it for a good chunk at the beginning. And so when it hits, you're like, oh. And
then you have to deal with the depression and the anger and all those stages of grieving.
Yeah, and they do it very nicely.
They do. It's way more well done than most adult movies.
Handle death.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is your initial take before I start launching into all the things I liked about it?
Initial take is, it's a really well done Disney animated film. It is going to make them a ton of cash because it is very.
I hope so.
Well, I think so. It's going to make them a ton of cash because it is fun, and it is something that has a little bit for everyone. I think it's really well animated.
Very well animated.
And Baymax is like the rocket of quarter four for Disney.
Baymax is going to be the kid favorite, and rightfully so. They know what they're doing.
The very first thing out of my girlfriend's house is we had to get a Baymax doll.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
So buy her the Disney Infinity 2.0 Baymax figure.
I'm not buying Disney Infinity stuff.
I'll buy her Disney Infinity Baymax 2.0 figure. Okay. Anyway, so let's go over the team. All right? So you've got Baymax, who's the big draw. Everyone knows him from the trailers. He's the big Stay Puft Marshmallow Man robot-looking thing.
You know what I kind of wish? There's the scene where he's reinflating himself and putting tape on it. I wish that had just been a trailer-only thing as opposed to being in the movie. Because it's funny in the trailer, but when you've seen it a bunch of times and it gets into the movie, it's kind of...
At that point, you're just like, all right, I know where this is going. I want this scene to end.
It kind of loses its luster.
Big Hero 6 was actually a movie that was the only trailer I had seen. So I actually went into this movie not knowing too much about it.
It's very strange in that, you know, they're hyping this as the first Disney Marvel movie, and they're putting out a team that nobody's heard of.
Hey, it worked for Guardians.
Yes, but there's Guardians, and then there's Big Hero 6.
Did you know that there was a comic where Sunfire from the X-Men teamed up with Big Hero 6? It was called Sunfire and Big Hero 6?
I did not know that.
I learned that today when I was looking up Google Images, and I kept getting covers from that comic.
I did not know that. That's fascinating.
And exactly. So, anyway, Baymax is the big draw.
Obviously.
He's a medical robot whose loophole that he cares for the health extends to emotional and mental health, allows him to stay attached to the young hero. See where I went there.
See where the movie went there?
Is a prodigy genius inventor.
He's fun. He's he is like 13, and you would think he'd
14.
Is he?
Yeah.
You think he'd be very obnoxious.
Right. He was handled very well.
He's very believable in a robot world, but I think he's fine. I will say that one of my complaints about this, and it's a pretty small complaint. Okay. I don't think it's a nitpick. But right. I think the rest of the Hero 6 are not as well developed. I think they had their one scene in the beginning where we get what their powers will be. Mm-hmm. Or the tech they're working on that will become their powers, and then that's kind of it.
I'll agree with that.
Except for
Fred.
Except for Fred, who gets the most, but it's
more played up for laughs.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll agree with you that.
Yeah.
But what I liked about the team was that they were diverse.
Yep.
And they had personality. They might not have been built up as characters, but they were all very distinct.
Yes. Honey Lemon and Go-Go and Wasabi are all very different.
And I love how you find out how they got their names. From the guy, Fred, who doesn't even go to the School of Geniuses. Oh, also, one thing I really liked about Tadashi as a character was that, you know, when you have a child prodigy kid, it's very easy to make the older brother the dumb but lovable, like, moral guiding person.
Yeah.
And making him just as smart, like, maybe not as smart, but also one of the genius group, I thought was a really nice choice.
There's a nice scene which shows his development of Baymax. And it shows all his failure attempts, too. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was really well done. And showing, you know, that his brother's not quite as smart as him, but still pretty damn smart.
Yeah. So, okay. The other characters. The big moment of this movie is the montage origin story, where we find that all the people are going to apply their projects that they were working on at school and utilize it to make a super suit.
It was very much a combination of Iron Man and the holographic computer and X-Men First Class at the mansion, where they start testing their powers.
Yes, I agree.
It was a mashup of those two
very
things.
Nice nod to make them all built via 3D printer. That was really cool.
Oh my god. We were obsessed with 3D printers.
Oh, okay. So, based solely on their power set, I think Go-Go is my favorite.
I liked Honey Lemon a lot.
Did you? She had a cool power set.
Well, I mean, her power set was interesting. You know, her bag mixed chemicals to do whatever she needed. I thought I thought she had like a really great look. I think Go-Go had the most dynamic costume.
Dynamic is, I think, visually it represented itself the best as super speed.
Yes.
But I really liked Wasabi's like blades as well.
Yeah. My only issue is he's way too competent. Like he is sitting there doing cool guy stuff with swords.
I actually liked it because the first fight scene, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's just wailing out.
But by the end, he's like Kung Fu Master. I like that their first fight ends in complete failure of them just wrecking each other.
Okay, so the plot, without getting into spoilers, because we're trying to not spoil anything outside of what you can see in trailers, villain steals hero's tech, and that's where you see like the nano swarms from the trailers, and that becomes a focus where hero realizes that his brother died because of this guy, and it becomes a revenge flick. And I like how Fred was the fourth wall breaking character of sorts, like letting you know on a meta level what we're doing now.
Yeah, the one who's obsessed with superhero fiction.
Yeah.
And is like...
Also, stay after the credits. That's all I'm going to say. there is an after-credits stinger that is worth your time.
Of course there is.
I'm just saying. Do it. Would you agree?
Kind of.
Really?
Kind of. It's cute.
Oh, you're the worst.
You know what it does more than anything else? It makes me a little sad.
We won't get into it because I'm afraid to spoil it.
I'll talk to you about it afterwards.
You're wrong. That's what matters.
Okay.
So, all right. We've been talking about the characters. So, the voice acting was very strong in this. I thought everyone did a really good job. You're immediately going to recognize T.J. Miller as Fred. Yeah. Because he's a very noticeable voice. Yeah. I don't know a lot of the other people.
Well, that's my favorite thing is that for the most part, these are not named voice actors.
Unless it's Damon Wayans Jr., who I did not know was Wasabi, but good for him.
I mean, Alan Tudyk is in.
Oh, you ruined my lead-up.
Well, maybe you get good at lead-ups.
Maybe give me time. I was going to be like, you know who's proven himself to be an extremely versatile voice actor because you never know it's him?
It's Alan Tudyk.
Oh, it's Alan Tudyk!
Yeah.
Just like we didn't know he was King Candy in Wreck-It Ralph, he's also the evil businessman Alistair Cray.
Yeah.
So
he's been doing some really inspired Disney work recently, so I'm so happy for him.
Did he have a voice in Frozen? He did.
He did. He was Count Weaselton.
Okay, you know the guy that always has from Cheers, who always has a voice in Pixar? Yeah. I feel like they're making Alan Tudyk the guy who has a voice in every one of this franchise.
You know what makes him a little better than Norm?
The fact that you don't know it's him every time.
He's way 10,000 times more versatile.
I think the thing with Norm in the Pixar movies is you are supposed to know it's him each time. Whereas Alan, too, you never know until the credits. You're like, oh, snap.
You never know. And then he shows up as like, yeah, good job.
All right. So let's talk because this is a superhero film, so the fight scenes are going to come into play. How did you enjoy the action scenes? Because I dug them a lot.
I thought they were really well done. I mean, the majority of them are against this nano swarm, and I think they're really well done for what they are.
Kabuki Man had a great visual look. Just the Kabuki mask and the black cloak.
You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Amon.
Yeah,
like a lot.
Oh man,
like a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no real one-on-one fights per se, but
team mode.
But their powers kind of really lend themselves to fighting this giant swarm. So in that regard, I thought it was extremely well done. Which makes
sense, since each suit was designed to do that.
It's also this movie's also a lot of fun in that, because we're in San Francisco, there's a lot of anime influence in there too, and it is probably one of the best amalgamations of anime and Western animation put on film.
Korra? Oh, put on film.
Put on film.
Okay, but yeah, no. I agree. I really enjoyed it. I left that film going like, yes, like another hit for Disney. I just really dug it. It's so easy to recommend. Everything about it was just enjoyable.
I thought it was delightful.
It had a really good color scheme to it. Like it was a very visually appealing movie. I thought the acting was solid, and I enjoyed the diverse cast of characters. Someone pointed out that Hero is actually the first multicultural, multi-ethnic lead character in a Disney film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, as evidenced by the fact that Maya Rudolph plays his aunt, who takes him in when their parents died off screen, we know he's half Japanese, half white. So someone pointed out, I was like, that's a really intriguing thing. And then the actual cast of characters that join him is also diverse. And, some people don't care about that. But it makes it feel more, believable as a world when you have a group of characters that more reflects,
it helps
the real world.
It helps.
Yeah.
It's not always essential.
No, it's not essential, but when it's there,
it helps.
It's nice. I don't dock movies points for not having them because I find that silly. But when it is present, I like to acknowledge it. Also, I want to point out big props to the Grand Theater and Esplanade for sponsoring us to go see this movie. Because let me tell you, there is something really nice about not having to fight giant crowds on opening night for a movie. It is a peaceful place, and part of that is because it's so new, but it is a comfortable theater. And shout out.
I cannot give it more recommendations. We've been going to the other major theater chain in New Orleans for over a decade now, and I would trade anything to go back. It was only there because it's the only option.
Yeah, and it was just, I mean, we're getting sidetracked, but it was just one of those things where you dreaded going to see these opening movies because you had to be there an hour to 2 hours early. It was a whole thing. Now we can roll up at open time and have primo seat. And
do you remember when those dudes tried to fight you at The Hangover?
That was so good. Okay, Hangover 2.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
Excuse
anyway,
me.
back to Big Hero 6 before we wrap it up.
What did you not like about it?
Okay, here was the big thing that got to me.
Okay.
Everyone else makes a suit that does badass stuff.
Yeah.
Hero makes his own suit that has no capabilities outside of attaching to Baymax's suit. I found that such a strange... It kind of broke me off a little from it because I'm like, who does that? Who watches everyone else do all this cool stuff and then decides that his suit will attach to that guy's suit? That was all it did. It didn't have anything on its own.
No.
That bothered me in a nitpicky way, but it was there. And I was just like, come on, Hero.
I kind of thought of that, and it didn't bother me as much as it bothered you. But I definitely kind of was like,
I wouldn't say it bothered me. I'm just saying that the one thing I noticed...
He should have more capabilities than none.
Yeah. Than magnetic knee pads.
I would say that the main villain's motivation, it could probably have been a little clearer explained.
It's true. It wasn't. It's something that isn't choreographed.
It's explained in the second half of the movie, but the first half is the prime place to drop some hints, and it doesn't quite do that.
Overall, really.
Yeah, I would also shave maybe 10 minutes off.
Think so?
I think.
Considering the other movie we just watched, we could have knocked this one for being a little too long.
Trust me, we'll talk about that one after we've chewed over the next one. But I think it's just a hair too long.
Okay. No, I mean, here's my judge of, is the movie too long? Do I notice the time when I'm watching it?
I noticed it.
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. The movie ended, I'm like, all right, see, because to me that's a well-paced movie. A movie where I'm constantly fighting the urge to check the time is a poorly paced movie to me. Yeah. So anyway, that's nearly here. Let's end it. Give your final blurb about it. Give it a score. You know the deal.
Yeah, it is. For the first attempt of a Marvel DC mashup, it's very well done. I'm excited to see what ideas they put in their head to do next. Because if they're doing this with a property that no one's heard of, imagine what they'll do with something.
Runaways.
One
can hope.
Runaways might be too real for Disney. I hope you enjoy.
All right, come on.
I hope you enjoy Sass Talk in Carolina.
Yeah.
I will give this an 8. 8. Yeah, an 8. I enjoyed it a lot, but I think, it doesn't have the same cachet that a Frozen or a Tangled had with me, or even Incredibles, which is its closest comparison. I will probably buy this on opening day.
Okay. I love this movie start to finish. I find it very easy to recommend, and it actually, it does not surpass Incredibles, which is my favorite Pixar film, but it does very well in the comparison, and I find this a very strong entry into the Frozen, Tangled, Wreck-It Ralph.
The new generation.
Right. That's the best way to look at it. So that's it. I give it a 9, and that's day one, no contest.
Yeah.
So let's wrap this up because we have gone long. I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
Big Hero 6.
Go see it.
All right.
It's bedtime.